The Masood Entrepreneurship Centre is our focal point for enterprise and entrepreneurship at the University of Manchester. It's where your ideas can grow legs. Starting out on your own can be daunting. So it's our mission to nurture every kind of entrepreneur and every kind of idea. So as well as supporting guidance from our expert team, we also provide a wide range of opportunities all year round. Our entrepreneurship programs help to give you core business insights whilst keeping your thinking on track. We offer elective taught units across all 3 faculties to give you a taste of enterprise and sharpen your entrepreneurial mindset. We host workshops to develop and enhance key skills and run inspirational events and talks, so you can network and hear firsthand from inspiring people who've done it all before. And if you keep your eye out for competitions and funding opportunities, you can hone your pitching skills and maybe give your idea a valuable kickstart. Whatever stage you are in your journey, whether you have an idea you would like to develop or just want to learn more, the Masood Entrepreneurship Centre offers a range of risk-free opportunities to increase your confidence and broaden your mind. After all, there is no time like the present.
Everyone. I'm really pleased to say hello to you all today. And let me just briefly introduce myself. I'm Lynn Shepherd, and I'm Director of the Masood Entrepreneurship Centre here at University of Manchester. And I'm joined today by 2 fantastic colleagues. I like to think of them as colleagues. One is a graduate and the other a current student here at the university. And I'm going to ask them just very briefly to introduce themselves before we have a conversation around enterprise and entrepreneurship, but really about what is the value of this and how does it form part of University of Manchester. So let me ask first of all Kwame to introduce himself as the exiting head of the Students' Union.
Yeah, thank you very much, Lynn. So my name is Kwame Kwarteng. I pursued a master's degree in international development with a focus on globalization, trade, and industry. So for the past 2 academic years, I was the General Secretary of the Students' Union and happened to work with Lane and the team on how we could embed entrepreneurship in the activities of the Students' Union, and also to allow students to see the relevance of, learning entrepreneurship, taking some of the modules, and also sort of taking part in the activities and that Masood organizes. So I'm very much pleased to be here today.
Thank you so much, Kwame. And let me ask now Melody just to briefly introduce herself as the incoming head of the Students' Union. I like to think of you as the head of the Students' Union.
Yes.
You have this very formal title, but you definitely are a leader of the union going forward.
Yes, hi, I'm Melody. So I'm a Law with International Studies student at the University of Manchester. And as you said, I'm the current General Secretary of the Student Union. Yeah, really excited to be here and talk about entrepreneurship. I think it's really important. And I'm really glad to continue some of the work that Kwame has done with Masood going forward.
All right, thank you so much for both of you. So let's start the conversation. I think entrepreneurship has always been part of the DNA of the city of Manchester, if you look at the history of it, and also of the university. But it's about helping the new generation of students. So Kwame, what does entrepreneurship mean, do you think? Sometimes it is, misunderstood, or the word is misunderstood. It has quite a wide meaning. So Kwame, what do you think that means?
Yeah, thank you very much for asking me this question. Like you said, most times people give just a single definition to entrepreneurship. So I think I see entrepreneurship as problem solving. I see entrepreneurship as identifying opportunities, and then making the best out of it to solve a problem. So I think in a nutshell, I would just see it as problem solving. And I think problem solving doesn't necessarily have to end up in a business creation. You could be an employee in an organization and would be a good problem solver. And so in that sense, you are being an entrepreneur. A good employee is also the one that understands the expectations of the business owner, for example. And so you're able to deliver your task actually knowing the bigger picture. And so entrepreneurship for me is about, again, problem solving. It's about your ability to identify a problem and actually see how best you can find a solution for it. So for me currently as a graduate, and then not actually knowing the opportunities I would have had today, if when I was a student and, not knowing Masood, for example, to have taken the advantage that they actually had. I tend to have realized that had I taken opportunity of the entrepreneurship opportunities Masood actually provided for us, it would have given me a competitive edge right now in my job search, for example, because most companies are searching for people who are problem solvers. They say they want problem solvers. They say they want people who have entrepreneurial spirit. The point of what is the entrepreneurial spirit? Even though they are just searching for an employee, not somebody to come and own their business, So that is why I see it more as a problem solving and opportunity identification sort of experience that entrepreneurship provides for me.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Kwame. You're absolutely right. It is about being a problem solver, but it's about someone who's open to change as well, and open to change and opportunities, and resilient and hardworking and prepared to make it happen. Because there are lots of ideas out there, but actually turning it into something real takes a lot of hard work. And I'm so glad that you talked about having had the opportunity to be engaged with this agenda helps with your employability. Melody, let me just move over to you, if I might, as a current student. I'm always keen to remind people not to be defined by the subject that they're studying. But how do you think that the Masood Entrepreneurship Centre and other groups around the university can help students to find their path, to release their potential?
Oh, no, absolutely. I think it absolutely can because, for example, I study a law degree, and so many people might not think it has much to do with entrepreneurship or having an entrepreneurship mindset, but it absolutely does. It's about innovation. It's about growth. Like I said, it's about resilience, and having those attributes can completely shape where you go in terms of within law or outside of law. I think people can get very bogged down in what they feel like is a traditional pathway. I think entrepreneurship allows you to create your own pathway. It allows you to see pathways that don't already exist. And I think absolutely, for example, in law, there's lots of things going on in terms of digital divide. If you don't kind of grab onto that, if you don't look into it, if you don't have that mindset that thinks, okay, what path can I pave in this industry, then you can very much just become, I guess, just a bit like everyone else. Again, entrepreneurship it stands you out from the crowd. I think there's a lot that it does, and it adds and can sometimes completely make the path that you take. So yeah, I think Masood can do countless things, and that's just for law specifically. I think loads of different courses, once you apply that mindset to that, it completely opens up and broadens what you can achieve, but also how you approach those things. So yeah, 100%.
You're so right, Melody. Absolutely, absolutely. And the world has always been changing at a fairly rapid pace, but following the pandemic, as we've just seen COVID, I think we're much more aware of how fast that is changing and what a difference it makes to all of us. And in order to be part of this changing world, we do need to develop these entrepreneurial mindsets, because the world is going to be very different, Melody, just as you said. Technology will suddenly become far more important. I mean, I think none of us would have realized how important Zoom was going to be to all of our lives, both work life and private life. I speak to my son more on Zoom than I do anything else, because I don't see him face to face. But, the world will be different, but there will be no less opportunities. So, Kwame, in terms of opportunities, one thing that the Masood Entrepreneurship Centre offers is a lot of taught units, which helps people to realise the sorts of skills you need to develop. But in terms of developing opportunities, we also have activities that support and encourage those opportunities. Why do you think that is so important for young people to have that opportunity to have a go at starting something?
And I'm so glad you asked me this question because, like I said, during my 1 year, that was 2018-2019 academic year, I didn't know a lot about Masood. And so my 2-year opportunity as the General Secretary, and I'm sure, Lynn, you would see I had a meeting with you and I was just ranting everywhere about, like finding a job in the UK is quite difficult. Like, can we have some programs on entrepreneurship? And you are like, oh, this is something that already exists. I was like, okay, then we're going to have a meeting over that. And I think I want to use myself as an example. I just had an idea. Okay, so when my year was coming to an end, I was like, finding a job is difficult. I think there's something I really need to do. And Masood just said, you know what, you don't need to have an idea of how to design a car that will fly in the air or something. It doesn't need to be that kind of an idea to be able to start something on your own. So I looked at myself in the cocoa sector, and then I identified a problem in terms of the diversity in the voice at the sector in terms of policy making. Who are those influencing policy making? So I already started writing articles on that, and I realized that the sector, most of the sector stakeholders actually liked what I was writing, but it wasn't actually situated in the policy making. So I was like, okay, can I actually develop a platform where people with some of these brilliant ideas can have their ideas actually at one place, where we can have the policymakers feeding into that to make policy changes, and also supporting SMEs within the sector. And I was like, do you know what? Let me just speak to Masood. And I went in there, they put me on this lean venture fed-up program. For two months, they really shaped my idea for me. Currently, I was able to secure a £2,000 Kickstarter support for this, something that was just like an idea, you know. And I went to they really made me feel good about myself in the first place. So I had that motivation of going on with it. Right now, they've connected me to lots of TI Manchester, for a TI Northwest, and then TI Northwest have also connected me to industry personnel that is currently helping me for free, you know, for free. And I was like, all these exist in Manchester, like in the university, that all of us can take an advantage of. It doesn't need to be a super awesome idea to change, you know, the planet.
Just a simple idea. It's all about find a problem, fix a problem. Exactly. Find an opportunity, look at the way that you can address it. And so that's fantastic. And actually, the more often you do it, the better you get at it. Because it's not rocket science, but it takes practice to be able to, you know, gain confidence in this area. So I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah.
Melody, can I just say, as the incumbent head of the Students' Union, tell me exactly what your title is again.
General Secretary.
General Secretary. I like to think of you as General Secretary, but certainly leader of, you know, the Students' Union.
And the chair of the trustee board as well. So.
Oh, right. So, Melody, in terms of going forward, Kwame is exiting from that role, although I'm sure he's still going to be a great supporter and advocate of the Masood Entrepreneurship Centre. But you're now in the role, and I want to work really closely with you to make sure that these messages get out to students. And it's all about visibility. Visibility, so students have the choice to be able to access these services during the course of their programme, whether it's 3 or 4 years that they're here at the university. And I think this memorandum of understanding, this agreement that we have established between the Students' Union and MEC is a fantastic partnership, and it will create such an enduring legacy for students into the future. So this is not just for today, it's for tomorrow and the future. So Melody, if this is so important, the world is going to be so different going forward, we have a lot of work to do. Where do you think we should start in terms of making sure that this becomes part of the DNA the fabric of the student experience here at Manchester?
I think you've partly answered the question. I think it starts with visibility. I think the message that we're selling and what entrepreneurship is, what Masood is, I don't think any student is going to see that and think, I don't want to be part of that. I think it's about firstly changing the perception, like you said, of what people think entrepreneurship is, and actually letting them know what it truly is so that they can choose to implement it in whatever part of the university they are, because again, it seems like it's a student thing, but staff need to also have that mentality. So I think it's an all-encompassing thing. I think the visibility, but also changing that perception that, you know, it's just if you're a startup and you want, you know, £1,000 to start your business and things like that. So I think those are two very important places to start. But then I think it's also important to realize that entrepreneurship looks different depending on where you are and what you're trying to do, and maybe helping people to see entrepreneurship in places that they don't think it exists is something else that I think is really important. It's a huge university, so, and it's a huge student population. It's a huge, Manchester's huge in general. So there's loads of different pockets of, but I think everywhere needs it. So that's what's quite interesting and quite great about entrepreneurship. It's not that, you know, you do it one place. Everywhere needs that spirit. Everywhere needs that resilience, the confidence, the growth mindset, the innovation. I think it makes the community better. It makes whatever you're doing already 10 times better. So I think those are probably like the 3 places I'd say to start.
No, that's absolutely right. And I think one of the most important messages for everyone is that, you know, entrepreneurship and innovation, they're people games. It's all about the people. It's all about the team. And that's why it's so important that it's part of employability. If I was employing for I have run organizations in the past, and when I was employing people, I was looking for those people that, you know, are going to be enthusiastic and want to find solutions to problems and will work with others, and, you know, are good people to work alongside. So it is very much around people. And I think the other thing that Kwame mentioned that I don't want you to underestimate is the importance of networks. And this university is so incredibly well networked, not just in the city region, but in the UK, but globally. Just think how many alumni we have around the world. So we almost have connections to everyone. So if you think there's a problem you want to solve, there's somebody out there that can give you some advice and support.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start to draw this to a close. I don't know if there's any final comment that you'd like to make before we end the conversation.
I think I would say that people should just jump on this opportunity, because I did not have that opportunity. But imagine, just after school, being the general secretary, I jumped on that opportunity. And I'll be very happy to tell you that when I got to know of this opportunity, I was able to convince a student to pick entrepreneurship module. He picked it. He went through, he came back, he was telling me, oh, Kwame, oh, this is so, oh, like, you know, I'm not a business person and everything. He was complaining. And guess what? He completed we got a distinction in the module. And now he loves it. And then now he's like the advocate out there. I was like, yes, you go and face that challenge. It's going to feel a little bit challenging because entrepreneurship may look new to you and everything. He's so happy. He could not believe he was able to do like financial forecasting and everything, you know. So just go in there, face the challenge, and in fact, picking the module itself is the first challenge that you are facing, which already makes you an entrepreneur in the making. So I'll just encourage everybody to go in there. You know, if you choose the module, that is fine. They also have the various activities and the event that the Lean Venture Further, and they have lots of programs already ongoing. So you can choose any of them that you would join. If you're an alumni, guess what? I'm an alumni and I'm still benefiting from Masood, you know.
Absolutely. We help graduates up to 2-3 years beyond graduation. And during Welcome Week, we have a stand in the Students' Union. there are brochures, but really just go to our website and just engage with our activities and get involved. Not every day, but just get involved with certain modules and certain activities. Melody, do you want to say? Kwame is so supportive of this. I think he could talk all day about it. So could I. Melody, do you want to say a final word before I close down the session?
I mean, apart from echoing what Kwame said, I just think it's a potential unlocking, like it's a conduit to unlock your potential. I think it's not to be overlooked, and I think it can be very easily, and it can be relegated to business and this. And I just want to encourage people to not do that. If you're kind of thinking this doesn't really seem like it applies to me, it does, because it's a mindset, like you said. It's and there's loads, like you said, loads of different ways to get involved. So you don't necessarily have to pick a course if maybe you don't have that choice, but like Kwame said, once you try that, you're already in the mindset that we're speaking about. Once you think, okay, I'm actually gonna have a look, I'm gonna wrestle with this new opportunity, that's kind of what we're talking about in the first place. So if you think it doesn't apply to you, it does already. So that's one thing I'd like to put out there. Like, definitely give it a go, definitely try, join an event, go on the website, 100% in support of it. And I think people should think more broadly about entrepreneurship, and I think it will make our community better in general.
Thank you so much. And I loved what you said. Unlock your potential. I think that's a line that we should use in more of our material. And I think if we're promoting this short fireside chat that we've had, it is about unlocking potential. It's not about business. Don't think of it just in terms of business. It's much more than that. It's about your future. Thank you so much. It was lovely to see you. Hope to see more of you over the coming year. And keep well, take care, and love to both of you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I became passionate about entrepreneurship after I entered a few accelerators. I'm one of the PhD students that wants to commercialize their idea and wants to build a spin-out company.
I'm grateful to be in Manchester, which is one of the biggest entrepreneurial hubs in the UK. I was constantly receiving support from the Masood Entrepreneurship Centre, which has a brilliant team who work really hard to bring to the students, the alumni and the staff the resources, the events and the training required in order to translate brilliant research into commercial entities that can bring impact.
Studying at a university like the University of Manchester embeds in you the value of being a socially responsible citizen. Here at Manchester, we believe that visionaries are born when they identify a problem and are passionate enough to solve it.
Business is not what you think, it's actually for everyone. It's a multi-diversity thing, and I strongly encourage everyone to do it.